My name is Jonathan Parks, and welcome to Jonathan's Nature Crafts. Well, as we come about our little tasks here, there is still a little more work to do into these Sassafras golden retrievers. We've already come down to most of their parts, but come down to think of it, there's one little thing we kind of still got to work on, and that is their tail. So kind of just put a little work into the piece where we're going to kind of make it so it's going to be just one little thing to do here, and kind of like just a fine type of work where hopefully we can take the gouge and make a little curve in the tail along here, remove some of the excess wood. But sometimes, just sometimes, with a gouge, it can be hard to get it sharp enough sometimes, so sometimes you might have to try to use different blades at different times. Haven't used these gouges in a long time, so not so sure what kind of shape they are in, and could be that maybe for the place on the wood where I'm going, this is not the best place to take it, because I think that could be that for where the grain is in that wood might be kind of going a little bit out of the grain's direction. So I will just kind of like curve up a little place where we just kind of got to get the carving done right in its good little spot for one good little retriever dog that shall make a way unto us to see just bright dandy places where we kind of like do just the nicest little things to our little sculptures. I say that there might come to be a place where we can kind of leave something on the leg there, and come to where we make a nice little curve at the top of the tail, just equal with the lines. So one of these days I might probably be able to make a video where I demonstrate on the bandsaw how the blank is cut out, but that'll kind of come in its own very time, and all we're kind of doing here is just kind of mesmerizing the way we're going to make the work come out once we get done with a good little piece. So I say just moving along here, kind of got the places to the sides where it's just coming out as a fine work of art for you and for me and anybody we know who just comes along this way. I say that this is just kind of like awesome ways to make a little work happening for us. So this is just kind of a motion where we're getting things in sight and getting to where I say we kind of got a fine curve for this little tail too. Maybe, just maybe, come along here, try to remove some from the other end of the tail to kind of make the point that comes at the end And then just kind of like do a little working of things to kind of get a little goodness and shape of what we have for ourselves, and the little retriever pup that makes a great hobby for you and me. So I say we got a little place in here. Sometimes, just sometimes, things are going to happen in life, and we kind of got the ways we go about it. So I'll tell you all that we got this much done here. Got along the way of the tail, and come what we think about, kind of remove some stuff from this part of the tail as well. Try to get a little more space into its place to kind of share what we know and what we have. I'll tell you all that there's going to come a time when, even with this, we kind of got to narrow it down, kind of take that little spike off the top of the tail and move it a little more this way to get more wood right out of the space. And so I say with things like this, we're going to work our way about it, trying to get a little more space into the pieces, just to show a little effort and skill, just to kind of like make our ways to where we kind of motion our art to a fine little angle of a character. And with this much being done, kind of remove some along here as well, and take it along where we're going to see this little place here where a little more is moved along, and just along here remove this place as well. Kind of like, as we say, just a little more rounding can happen and make a little better sculpture. So let's see how that comes along. And here, we're just kind of taking a little bit more off the edge, rounding it off a little more in the back, and see what we have for a fine little puppy dog that's going to make a name and a way for us. So how we do it is a sure thing. So come to think of it all, it's just mighty work we give to ourselves and our image and our reputation. So here we've come along, made the tail out like that. Probably for one last thing, maybe remove a little from the side of the body here, so the tail looks like it's coming out on the side a little more rounder. And so that the little things in life like this, we've kind of got to get a good tail in place. And I'm here to tell you all that nothing's ever going to be perfect. Couldn't make this, of all things, ever perfect, but that sometimes good little piece can measure to most. And that's always the way it's been when it came to making these dogs. I've made a couple of Labradors from this pattern out of walnut, and with what we have here in mind. We can share a little bit more as far as our space is concerned and get a little more expression out into just a good, fine little piece of wood for us. And so I say that just a nice little bitty piece can work a wonderful way to us. Try to remove this part of the tail as well. We've already done it on the other retriever, so kind of take along here, remove it from here, come up here to the little sides and the points and take a little more away from it just to kind of measure it out in a good, perfect little place. I'll tell you all that this is just a fine retriever puppy that, like we say, these golden retrievers are people's sunshine. They brighten the days just as good as they can be. So I am also just kind of thinking that there's a one little step we'll take here. Remove some saw mark from along here, from the sides, and given the information I have here, I'd like to say that as far as all the face and stuff is concerned, that's going to be demonstrated in the video for the butternut golden retrievers, and for the sassafras ones it is quite the same way. No matter which position you have it in or what pose you have it in, making out the eyes and the face is going to be the same way with each. And might even just come up here for a moment, and one thing I've already demonstrated on there is how we separate the legs, and that is going to be quite the same with this one as well. So there's probably not a need to repeat the whole demonstration here, so I just would say that for this moment, maybe we'll take the gouge and kind of do it a little bit here as well. Try to remove a little bit from the center and take it up to its own place. And maybe, just maybe, even though those were posed a little bit differently, we see that this is just the place where we kind of make the little cut. There's going to be other work we're going to do later on to try to get things a little bit more into the place where they ought to and need to be. So thankfully we're getting work done and showing us ourselves what we can accomplish through all we do, and just seeing how fine little retrievers can kind of be made from a simple project and a good piece of wood. So thank you all so much for coming on. Thank you for attending this video. Thank you for watching. Wish you all the best. Take care always. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe to this channel. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.